Right, cool. So thanks for tuning in, everybody. This is an Eliza Labs Build a Demo session. Today, this man needs no introduction. It's Dimitri from Comput. I'm very much looking forward to the deep dive. I believe you're going to go through Comput, a little bit around what's new on your platform, and then run through how you can use your infrastructure to run an Eliza agent. So, yeah, very much looking forward to this. What's your background, Dimitri? What's your, what brought you into the space? What's your insight? I know you've got some very unique knowledge.
Yeah, so I mean, it's a little bit awkward that we just pre-stream ended the conversation there, but I'll happily go over it again. So yeah, hi, I'm Dimitri, aka Not Us. I mean, that's what a lot of people call me, just the first couple letters of my last name. So yeah, my background is, I mean, I'm more of a IT security guy. That's where I did my PhD. In Berlin. So after that, probably best known in the crypto space as being one of the guys that hacked Ledger and Trezor in 2018. We did a big talk at CCC called Wallet Fail back in the day. Since then, we audited a lot of wallets. I mean, that's something that we still do to a degree. But then generally, I mean, like I was explaining during COVID, I mean, another thing we always did is training for engineering teams during COVID. What ended up happening was we obviously couldn't travel. And so we took it all online. We built our own backend because there was no good streaming solutions back then. I mean, StreamYard just come out, which we're using right now. But we built a lot of crazier stuff like 4K streaming to like a video editor who's sitting in the US, then streaming it back to Germany, then streaming it like somewhere else, and just building crazy streaming pipelines. And actually a lot of it was built on using NVIDIA GPUs, because basically, like if you go down that rabbit hole of streaming, figure out the only way for this to work in real time is to use a real-time hardware video encoder. And the only practical one that's widely accessible are NVIDIA GPUs. So we started just with NVIDIA GPUs in the cloud. We built custom FFmpeg containers with NVIDIA acceleration and all that kind of stuff. And lo and behold, a couple years later, that became super relevant. Like all that knowledge of deploying NVIDIA Docker containers, deploying CUDA, and deploying PyTorch and all that kind of stuff became super relevant, because that's the basis of what all the AI stuff runs on today. So that's where we are now. I mean, sort of fell into it. And so for me, kind of shout out to like Noose Research. I mean, for me personally, as sort of like a security researcher, it was always interesting to see how good are these models at doing analysis of like a software code base, figuring out, where are vulnerabilities and stuff like that. So that's sort of how I fall into the AI stuff. And you fall into it, you start with like a Hermes 8B that you can run on a 3090, and then you're like, oh man, but if I run the bigger one, the results are significantly better and significantly better and then significantly better. Like they just, for a while, I mean, it does just keep getting better and better. And then at some point you're like, how do I run the biggest one? And then you realize that you need 8 NVIDIA GPUs of the largest size running in parallel. And so, I mean, that's basically where we ended up. So I'm very familiar with running models locally. I'm also very familiar with running the biggest GPUs that you can buy. And so in our case, last weekend, we finally got access to B200s, which are the biggest GPUs you can get, full stop. Like there's no more powerful, bigger GPU right now. And as far as I know, I mean, I'll say it for the record, we're the only crypto AI project with B200s right now. Also, full stop. I mean, I haven't seen anyone else have them. So like it's probably right now. I mean, like we had a tweet yesterday. I mean, it's literally like XAI. Probably Anthropic has some dev machines, etc. But even I would venture to guess that if you're using Claude, Anthropic, OpenAI, they're probably not even using the B200s. They're using them all for training right now. So in terms of running a model on a B200, we might even be the only ones right now, like in the world, that are using them. So, which is pretty crazy. I mean, I didn't think we'd end up here, is what I'm trying to say.
Well, yeah, I think you definitely maybe the path laid out in front of you for a certain reason. But I mean, just to humanize what you do, right? So Comput, you run these models within Comput or within your partners, and you basically let agents or people who need access to this compute accessing it on a basically a fractionalized model, right? Pay as you go type model as such.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, we do a couple of things. So we have obviously the fractional model, like you said. I mean, where you can pay in crypto. That's already a gigantic thing. So essentially, I mean, we're trying to get ready for, you have a Eliza agent running. It realizes it needs more like horsepower. I mean, so the way to think about it is it needs a bigger brain. It realizes it's kind of dumb. It needs a bigger brain. And then it says, give me that sweet B200 that came out this year so that I can have a bigger brain, or actually give me 8 of them, which would be more typical. Give me 8 of them, and then all of a sudden it's a big brain Eliza, and it can do completely different things. So I mean, we're basically building like the crypto on off ramp for those kinds of agents. And then for essentially, I mean, I would say right now our community is a lot of devs, a lot of people playing around with these models, which is what we invite all of you to join us and do. You get 60 minutes for free. Just connect your Phantom. Like I'll just say, because people are like, Dimitri, it made me pay like some super tiny amount in Solana. We just do that so we don't just get bots signing up and like taking our minutes. So it's like less than 1 cent that you send us, and we give you 60 minutes back, which would be or 1 hour back, which would be like one hour is $1 in our token, and then 1.5 in Solana, roughly. So anyway, long story short, that stuff is it's available. I mean, available to you through us. And I mean, yeah, like the stuff that I'll show you guys today, hopefully, is going to be how to actually run Eliza on our infrastructure, because I think we're a pretty interesting infrastructure provider from that point of view.
Nice. So like, not to put you on the spot, but that's a great intro to compute and your background. You're a fantastic part of the ecosystem. What's the so your product's being progressed very quickly, but what's next? What's the roadmap? And I mean, I know this
oh man, I mean, so this week I was gonna say this week. I mean, the moment I think on our socials we felt like we put a man in space this week was we basically got so we're running Kimi K2 which fits on the B200s barely. I mean, just to give you guys like the latest NVIDIA GPUs, you can barely on a server with 8 of them, you can barely fit Kimi K2. We got it to fit, and we were able to use so like I could also go into the differences between Cursor and Claude Code. Claude Code does all the, I mean, I can tell you because as a security engineer, I may or may not have sniffed the SSL traffic to get a better idea of how each of these work. But essentially with Claude Code, it's really making all the decisions locally. And so what you can do with Claude Code, and this is like documented by Anthropic, in case you have to use a proxy or something like this, you can overload essentially the base URL. And so we were having Claude Code run using essentially an instance that we booted running an open source Kimi K2 model, which is on the coding test comparable to like at least Sonnet, and on some tests even Opus. And so completely open source, running on Web3 infrastructure. We had Claude Code, so a coding agent, ostensibly the best coding agent right now out there right now, going on our infrastructure. And so that was just like, that was mic drop moment. I mean, we couldn't believe that we were there. I mean, so like going back to, me sitting and trying to run Hermes on a bigger machine to get more, to get kind of better results. Did I think that we would be able to host comparable models to Anthropic and OpenAI just a little bit down the line, like a year later? I mean, I didn't think we'd be here. So that was super impressive. So we're basically doing like a revamp so that we can offer it. And basically, I mean, we're going to do for our stakers, you're going to be able to access that model as well. And then we're probably going to add, just because no one's actually hosting this model outside of China, we're actually going to add essentially like fiat Stripe payments. And so if you really want to, you can also pay and get access to it and use our infrastructure that way.
Nice. I mean, not to get too far into the future, into kind of, into utopia land, but if we fast forward, like, I mean, agents at the moment, there are some very good use cases. There's some good stuff being built within elizaOS, for example. But if we're in the playground still, really, with the first 6 months of agents being being a thing, really, and kind of coming into market. I think, like, if we fast forward maybe 24, 36 months. Where does this go? You have agent operated systems maybe speaking to each other. Maybe they're very much more autonomous than they are right now, and they need access to more compute at certain times. Let's say they do a transaction with somebody and they have to process heaps of stuff. Your system sits in the background, and it's that maybe it could be always on type compute service, but in those moments where there is heavy demand from autonomous systems, you're that system that they go to say, hey, right, I need access right now. Touch.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, that's a perfect summary. So, I mean, we do a couple of things because I think the people kind of so we're going to do, I mean, for the coding models, et cetera, I mean, just in terms of the infrastructure cost, sort of the demand, how many of those instances we can run simultaneously. I mean, it's going to be, it's going to be more along the lines of like if you're sitting there and trying to use this for coding, and even some use cases outside of that. I mean, you're definitely going to have enough limits to run it. But the thing that we also do with compute is the per hour GPU thing is you get an entire GPU, you can do whatever you want. So if you're running, I don't know, a 70 billion parameter model or something like that, I mean, you could easily run hundreds of agents on one of these things. I mean, so all the guys that are, I mean, it boggles my mind every time I see it, but I mean, they don't go away. I mean, I keep seeing them. The people who end up with like a 30K, OpenAI bill, especially for just running agents of some fashion, some persuasion, just to do. I mean, it is like I know there's really complex things that agents can do, and especially for the coding stuff, it really makes sense to have like the large models. But if all it's doing is shit posting, if I can put it that way, I mean, you really don't need a gigantic model to get very similar results. And so there, it would make a lot of sense to actually aggregate it all on one machine, have it all running on essentially a machine that you're running in the background. And then, I mean, essentially do it that way.
Nice. Very, very interesting. And as I say, it's been amazing to watch you kind of grow the last, must be 3-4 months since you launched on auto.fun. And I guess, you're evolving at a rapid pace. So yeah, I'm looking forward to the deep dive. I think just before we jump into that, maybe to the people listening, if you have any questions whilst you're watching the demo, feel free to either throw them in the chat and we'll try and answer as we go through, or we'll do a Q&A at the end. So yeah, if you're watching and you have questions, please let us know. There is a question from Vladimir just before we kick it off as well. Is this related to Cloud Eliza instances? It could be. It could be related. Eliza Cloud is a kind of, let's say, a lab project that Shaw's working on at the moment. We need to have, we're trying to build a place for agents to be to have hosting. And yeah, Shaw Compute could be a component of that. It's very close to the development team, so you have all the insight there, Nados. And just a question from might be good to do an Anthropic compatible endpoint as default alternate option. So anyone listening on the stream, by the way, if you want to come ask a question, jump into the Discord. I'll try and keep my eye out, but it's tricky to watch both channels. So yeah, there's a question there for you, Nados, before maybe you jump in from Sarah.
Yeah. So the Claude compatible, I was surprised. I mean, so the TL, I mean, this is like evolving. So just as another Discord plug, our Discord is very technical with people getting models up and running. So like this question would be a typical question that would pop up on the Discord, and then we would have a 5 to 15 minute discussion where everyone feeds in. So yesterday was literally when we were trying to get the Claude Code stuff up and running. And somebody from our Discord who knew actually suggested that Light LLM, which is, as my doorbell rings, Light LLM, a proxy, which proxy for aggregating essentially like OpenAI interfaces and all that kind of stuff, has. They suggested that. I don't know how they knew that that support had been hacked in. But basically, it's with LiteLM, it's really easy to get the Claude endpoints up and running. And the trick is, I have not looked into the source code, but the trick is with LiteLM, you set it not to the standard like V1 endpoint. You actually set it to /, and then LiteLM somehow magically handles the Claude code. But the good news is for us, from like a infrastructure point of view, we were about to switch to LiteLM because LiteLM lets you aggregate and load balance and do have instances like going up and down. And so we were going to aggregate our like the coding models and the large models that we're adding. We were going to add those via LiteLM. So we're kind of getting it for free. But yeah, I mean, it's that question is very valid because there's like 2 or 3 implementations of like redirecting the Claude code specific stuff to the correct V1 OpenAI compatible endpoints. But as far as I can tell from what I've seen so far, it's literally I mean, Anthropic basically just uses slightly different endpoints. So for the most part, it's just like taking everything as is and forwarding it to slightly different endpoints.
Right.
So yeah.
Good question. Right, Nedos, do you want to show? Are you going to show your screen? Do you want to take it over? I'm hoping this isn't.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I mean, if this is fine, I'm just gonna I mean, I'm just gonna do it like this because I'm all set up for switching switching screens and doing everything like this. So as long as it's not like cropping everything, then should be good.
Yeah. Let me just.
So yeah, I did want to say, I mean, shout out, like I said, I'll say it on the stream because that was pre-stream. Shout out to the person who added the Docker container. DevOps infra people like me absolutely love you because this was one of the things with Eliza where every time it was much more. I mean, you would need like a snapshot in time in terms of getting it up and running, and with this sort of integration, it's way easier. I do want to check really quickly just so that I don't go searching for it in a second. Oh yeah, I'm good. I just shut down the Docker container. I was like freaking out because I saw in the interface of Docker that it's not running, but I actually did Control-C it because I was freaking out that it might have crashed or something like that. So I'll show you guys really quickly. I'll make my fonts bigger because I know I'm on a 4K monitor and I underappreciate how difficult or easy it is to read. So when you log in and Comput3, first of all, you guys are going to just use your Phantom wallet. It'll connect. First time you connect, you can get 60 minutes for free. You send a very small amount of Solana, basically zero. I mean, it's way less than 1 cent. And so you'll get 60 minutes from us. We just use that to make sure we don't get spam. So we invite you to do it. You'll basically, I mean, it's like 0.00001 Solana or something like that. You'll get 60 minutes from us the first time you send that amount. And then I'll talk about the other options. The cool thing is, I think most people on the stream are going to have AI16Z. We actually have a AI16Z power up, and that lets you get access to the Hermes model, which we host on the API. So normally, if you're just a regular user, we let you use our Llama 70 billion. But then if you have AI16Z, you can click right here, and then you immediately get access to Hermes as well. So that's just a fun thing that we did with AI16Z, which we like honor to this day, just knowing our roots, knowing who supported us at the very beginning. So you guys can benefit from that. So those 2 options mean that you can actually run Eliza without doing anything on our interface. So that those are essentially 2 options that you have. And what does that look like? So on the page, you go down. Here's an API key. I'm showing it because I can. I'll change it after the stream. Don't be evil. I'll change it after the stream. But there's my API key. And if I actually copy this, then we can go and we can actually hack it into our env and actually start it. But I already did it before the stream, so I'll show you guys really quickly right here. So I'm just going to copy this. I'm going to copy it back into place. Please tell me. Wait, what's going on? Oh, I had this happen last time.
Restart
WSL crashed. Yeah, has this happened to you before as well, or what?
I haven't played with the Docker container yet. I've seen it around.
No, it's not. It's not the Docker. It's not the
Oh.
Docker. Unfortunately, it's I had WSL crash. I unfortunately had this on another stream, but it was just working. Let me see if I can get. Oh man,
that's okay.
It would suck if.
Take your time.
It will suck.
Too hard to restart,
I'm trying to think of the quickest way to show it without I mean, what kind of alternative I could. Yeah, let me see if I can get. I know I did. The one thing that I did last time was I killed WSL. Really, let me see if I can kill it here. I'm just gonna kill the process, and then I think I had it come back up.
Turn it off and turn it on again. But it always works.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, but I'm not. Unfortunately, I tested everything before we hopped on, and I was hoping it was going to go super smooth. So that just went out the window in that sense. But we're gonna make it. We're gonna figure out a way to make it work. Worst case, I can plug in my laptop and we'll potentially get it up and running. But let's see. I should be able to get something crashes it. I don't know. I think it's a WSL bug. I mean, I've only had it happen to me in the last couple of weeks. I think I'm done. Let's see if I can get it to boot back up here in a second. Oh, I did. It did. Oh my God, I can't believe it. Thank God this happened to me last week, and I already knew what to do. But now I'm curious if I have. No, we're gonna have to. I need to get. And I was so set up. I was just gonna do the one up arrow, and we were good to go. But we're gonna get it here. I need to copy the command from over here.
Somebody from the community says they've also had the same book. So yeah, it's not just you alone. People are feeling your pain.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure that really cheers me up. But, I'm happy that it's happening to other people. I was just about. I mean, I started using Linux again just because the build times on Docker containers are actually a little bit faster if you use Linux. So, which I mean, if you're building gigantic Docker containers like we do, it actually makes a big difference. So let's see this. I should be dev. So if I go to dev Eliza and then I go to the agent. LS, and then I should be able. I have the my agent because I literally used the example from you guys. And then let's just do this. So I'll show you guys the env first. So I'm going to do the working env. I'm going to paste it in a place, and I'm going to show you guys all you need to do. So easiest way to get it up and running is grab your API key from the interface, paste it into here. As soon as you have it, you'll be good to go. You can set it to Llama 370B. If you activate the power up, you should be able to do Hermes 370B, and that should more or less work. I do think I'm curious. Do I have to? Let's see if Docker is actually gonna work. So by the way, somebody else who's tried the Docker, let me know if this is how you use it, because this is how I got it running.
Belis is here. Belis, it was a community member who built it, I believe. So yeah, Bila.
Oh yeah, perfect.
Bila put it together. Yeah, I don't know if you'll be joining.
Okay, perfect. But this was working for me. I mean, I had to get Claude because I didn't find the documentation on it. I was YOLOing it, so just reverse engineering the Docker container along with Claude. So this worked for me, but I'm basically just calling the binary directly, the JavaScript binary directly, and then I'm telling it to run dev. But then I need to do two things, which is I need to tell it that the -e node env. So I think it's because it should be set to. I think it's set to development really quickly. Like I want to check. Let's do right here. It should be in the Docker file, I believe. So it's node env. It's set to production. I want development. So that's the first thing that I need. So again, I'm just demoing the Docker container, guys. You probably have this installed. I had this command good to go, but WSL decided to crash, and then I got to give it the ports that I want.
It's good that you get to talk through it.
3,000.
Everyone gets to watch how you break it down.
Yeah, exactly. So, all right. So there we go. So this will run. So shout out to the whoever built this Docker container, because I've built a couple Eliza Docker containers, and this is very, very well written. And so this command should work. So we'll see it in a second. So we should be able to pull it up right here. So let's see. So let's do a new, should be, or not a new agent, but if I go over here and I say Eliza, I mean, yeah, unfortunately, can I get rid of the chat history? This is just me testing it. How's it going?
It's okay.
Let's see.
What's up, Eliza?
I mean, what's up, Eliza? I did before. So right now it's doing the how's it going? And let's see if we get a response back. We should. All good here. All right. So we got it. So where is that running? So again, I'll show you guys right now. We got, so I'll just do the env that I'm running. So I'm literally wrong directory. We got to go into my agent is where I'm running it from. So if I go into here, I can make it bigly. I'm just setting it to our API, our V1 API, just pasting the key and connecting to Llama, and it's already working. So you can already use, I mean, we're trying to, it's like not the craziest model, none of that kind of stuff. But it is sufficient like to run, I mean, like it's sufficient for agents. And so we keep that up and running. So, I mean, there's like not really any limits or anything on it. So if you guys just want to play around or you just need a free inferencing model, that can be what you use. So like I said, Llama 3, or if you do the activation when you're logged in with Phantom, you can set it to Hermes 3 afterwards, as long as you have 500. Oh, that's pretty good. I mean, it animates again. You can get the, if you do the power up with AI16Z, you guys can use the Hermes 3 model as well. Yeah. So that's option number one. The cooler option, which I'm going to show next, is let's actually launch our own GPU. So right here, we're running somewhere on Comput3's infrastructure. Comput3 also offers an API just like everyone else, but let's run our own freaking GPU, and not just our own freaking GPU, our own Llama instance. So that's what I'm going to do right here. So I'll make it slightly smaller so that it fits on the screen. Launch workload, I'm going to run it for an hour. Boom, there we go. It's already launched. I mean, that's how fast launching a GPU is on our interface. So we're already in business. We can check out what sort of GPU it is. It is a H200, which is not a B200, unfortunately, but it's the second best. It's better than an H100. It's an H200. Good, right?
What are they?
Yeah, I mean, it's sold like it's sold, $50,000, 60 probably MSRP, something like that. So, I mean, you can see we have 2 terabytes of RAM. That's not a mistake, and 140 gigs of VRAM right here on this machine. And basically, I mean, this thing's complete overkill for what we're going to use it for. So the cool thing is the way that we build these. So the biggest, so I'll go full screen for this real quick. People ask us what the difference is. So the difference is we actually use this stuff ourselves. And so one of the things that we feel everyone's missing is there. So basically, if you with most quote unquote GPU providers, which we kind of try to distance ourselves from, we actually build these applications and we use them. So what would be typical on a network like a Web3 GPU network would be like, bro, upload your Docker file and we'll execute it. And then it turns out like you're on some machine in some random data center in Iceland or something like this. And it's like, what kind of internet connection does it have? How many gigs of models do I have to download? So just to give you an example, Kimi K2, what we're running is 1.2 terabytes. The model, that's just the model. So every time you boot the machine, before you can use Kimi K2, you have to download 1.2 terabytes. So I invite you to do 1.2 terabytes and then go on Wolfram Alpha, for example, and divide that by like a standard data center gigabit uplink. And I mean, I did it yesterday and it was like 6 hours best case. That's if you have 100, that's if you have a gigabit going. So we have, like, what we actually do is we make sure that everything's pre-downloaded, and the stuff that we package, you're not going to have that issue because the machine that is connecting to the network, it has everything pre-downloaded on it. And so what that means is, what I'm going to show next is if I go and I connect to the UI, we actually run Open Web UI, which is like a popular front end, which all the Llama people will know. So it's a popular front end, and you can see right here, we're on this machine. And these are all the models that are pre-downloaded. So in terms of the large models, we have Llama, Hermes, which we already play around with, but we also have Qwen 3, 32 billion, and DeepSeek. And so I can say, yo, bro, what's up? I can say that, and then we're going to start getting a response. And so the cool thing is we can actually watch this right here. This is actually scraping metrics off of the GPU. So we can see the GPU usage go up. We can see we're using 23%, i.e. 40 gigs out of the 140 gigs of the VRAM right now.
Nice.
And we're accessing we can fit way bigger models on it here. So it responded at some point. I mean, now that it's loaded in memory, it's actually going to start generating tokens right away. So you can see right there, I mean, the response is actually really fast after it loads it. But this is literally Llama running there, so you can do all the Llama things. And when I say all the Llama things, that includes going to admin panel. That includes going to settings, connections. So here's the Ollama that it's connected to. This is the instance that it's connected to. You can go here and you can actually download additional models. So you can go right now on ollama.com and anything that they have right here, any of these models, DeepSeek R1, Gamma 3N, etc. I mean, they're just going to work as is. You can just grab one of these, give it like this vision model or Llama 3.1, whatever you want. You can grab any of these models, download them right now. I mean, let's just do it for funsies. Let's just grab the like a bigger Quen. So we got to be under. So this one's too big, the 140 gigs. So we can do maybe a slightly smaller quant of that. So let's check. What will that be? It'll be like, yeah, I remember. I think they have a 235, but slightly smaller. Let's see. View all. Let's see what the 235 is. If we go to a 235, so Q8. All right, so the Q8 is already that. But if we wanted this one, so this one's, yeah, I mean, all these are unfortunately not going to fit. So I mean, that's why we picked the 32B. You really need multiple GPUs or a B200 to fit something bigger than that. But like if we go to Hermes, let's say we want to download a Hermes. So let's do Hermes 3. We want to download a Hermes 3 and we want a bigger Hermes 3 because we don't just want the 70B. We want the 70B that actually like the Q8 70B, which will be, wait, let's find it. 70B Llama, I think it's 3.1 or 3. No, yeah, it's going to be 3.1 Q8. Okay, so this one is the one that we want. And we could even do the FP16 might fit. I would say this is the safe bet right here. So we could go and we could grab this guy right here, go back to the web UI and say, I want to download a model. So we can do, so wait, one second. It's here, manage. We can go right here, paste the model name, boom, download. And this is going to download, I mean, appreciate how much faster this internet connection is because it's downloading like 100 gigs right now, and it's almost
what is your internet connection?
It's gonna finish in a couple seconds here. Guys. This is a good internet connection that we're running on. So you are it's not gonna take you a long time. So we have people in the community that are scripting this, downloading particular models. You can actually give Ollama. I mean, one of the reasons that like Ollama is like good and bad. It's good in the sense that it's really approachable. And it's like I'll say Ollama is like the best software if you're playing around with models. I still think it's like I prefer it over some LM Studio and some of the other ones. Although we're probably going to be adding like a LM Studio interface like this. But the fact that they manage the models and they make it really easy to download them, and they keep like a list of models that they would recommend trying to run. That's like the things that we like about this. So I mean, it's going to download the model afterwards. We can actually run the model and see it load up the GPU. Nice. But as we do that, let's do. Yeah, go ahead. Do you have a question?
Yeah. This is maybe my mid-curve brain coming into the equation here, but so the GPT wrappers, the era of people wrapping models and serving it as a SaaS platform, etc. Does this kind of disrupt that? You can run the models locally. You can open source solutions next to it. Is that where do you stand on that?
I mean, the fact for me for a really long time, the only thing that I think made sense closed source, which were substantially like the gap was so big that it was not worth considering, was the coding models. But literally, Kimi K2, Quen 3 Coder also just came out. They're both like I mean, according to the coding tests, I haven't done like extensive usage because I'm in the middle of getting it integrated into our API. But I mean, so far people are claiming that they're on par. So I mean, that for me personally, that plus being able to run something like Claude Code. So I personally, I mean, we can have this discussion. I use Cursor as well. I mean, I've used all this stuff, but I use Claude Code. It might just be me being a hardware engineer by training. I just like seeing the diffs as like big fonts on my screen, and then just like watching over its shoulder, like what I did when I used to have like employees. I would check what they're building. So I don't let Claude do its own thing. I'm constantly watching over its shoulder and then telling it when it did something really dumb. So for me, as soon as I can run Claude Code, not on Anthropic, I mean, I'm basically done. I mean, that was the last thing that was remaining for me. With these models, I mean, specifically Hermes from Noose. So I know we're at 98. I imagine, you know, the viewers at home are sweating right now watching the number get stuck. But this is pretty typical because the issue is that this thing is split up into like 20 downloads, so just one of them's going really slow. So the numbers are correct, but unfortunately it downloaded the like 19. And that last chunk got hit like a CDN that is not that fast. This is like these are all the things that you have to deal with. But I was going to say the models. So Hermes specifically from Noose Research. I mean, essentially what it is, it's a fine tune of Llama that removes like, I'm not going to help you, that's like inappropriate and all that stuff. I mean, that's primarily the thing that they focus on, just removing the no's that get added in for like, for whatever you want to call it, culpability or responsibility, or like, I mean, basically Meta not wanting to be responsible for people doing crazy stuff with a LLM. So once you run one of these, I mean, so Hermes specifically in our internal testing, I mean, if you want to run a Tweetbot, Hermes, I mean, I even found it that Hermes, I was reminded about Hermes actually from reading ELIZA documentation. I don't know if it's still there somewhere, but either in the ENV or somewhere, it suggested which models you should run on Ollama, and it said by far the best model was Hermes. So that was for a fact. I remember seeing that in the ELIZA documentation for the longest time, and I can confirm it's true. Not only for this.
We need to do a whole range of testing again, I think, because the models change so quickly. But just whilst that's finishing up, there are two questions from the audience. Do you host embedding models as well alongside the compute?
Yeah, that is a good question. So I mean, I was facing that today. So I mean, for us, it's so the short answer is right now. So I know Ollama has some embedding models that they ship with. But basically, I mean, you do have an Ollama, so you can add Ollama models to it. Once we move to the API, that's something that I have on the list where we should add it. So we'd be interested in hearing from the community what kind of models you guys are like would really help you in terms of embedding models and all that kind of stuff. So the short answer is right now we don't actually host it, but you are on a Ollama instance, so you can Ollama has ways for you to host a model. And so on that note, I mean, since I heard the question that's coming up, I just launched 2 more H200s, so we're at $150,000 this stream, just in terms of GPUs that we're running. And so I launched. I just want to show you guys. I mean, we have like 3 different Ollamas, which have a different subset of models. So here's the coding one with all the coding models. So we don't have Kimi K2 or anything here, but these are the alternative coding models. So Granite Code, QWQ, which is technically not a coding model, but it's actually not too bad for the size. Quencoder, the old Quencoder, the 2.5, etc. And then also the fast models. This one's actually pretty useful because these are things like, I mean, if all you're trying to do is like parse some text or something like that, then here, again, QWQ is like a pretty good median if you don't know what to pick. But we even have, for example, Llama 3 3 billion and Llama 3.2 vision. And so this is 3.2 3 billion. This is a 3.2 3 billion vision, which will totally, I mean, if you give it images, it'll say Ken's wearing this kind of shirt and all that kind of stuff. I mean, if you give it a screenshot, it'll analyze it. So that stuff we have here, and I mean, it is so fast on an NVIDIA GPU. I mean, yes, you can run these locally, but like on an H200, half the time, you won't realize that you clicked like your mouse to test it in the web interface, and the response is already there. Is how much faster these GPUs are compared to what you can run locally.
Yeah, awesome, man.
But yeah, going back to this, I mean, we got some bad luck here. If I click the X, unfortunately, it's gonna delete everything.
No, we got
I don't want to.
I mean, there's another question as well. So say that Llama was free on Comput3.ai. Is it the free 60 minutes? So yeah, I mean, initially it's 60 minutes for free, right? I guess
no, but you guys can just use our. I mean, if all you want is Llama 370 billion, you can just use our API. That's completely free. So that was the person got it. So I mean, if all you guys want is Llama, just a hosted Llama stuff that we're thinking about doing also in collaboration with elizaOS and the community. I mean, we are thinking about essentially building a training set to use going forward. So we're considering adding some endpoints that are essentially you get to use them for free, but you're contributing essentially to a model being trained further down the line. So stuff like that we might have, but yes, the Llama we're just doing because we think it's like a good approach to at least get people to play around, get an API key and start playing around with this.
Awesome. Nice. And I guess just to wrap it up as well. So once the wallet, if you're not going through the API and connecting to Llama.
I was going to show it. So we can actually, I mean, even though I was hoping we could download a big model, but I'll show you guys right here. So the other thing that we can actually do is if we go into our ENV, so we can connect directly. We can connect directly to the machine and run the models that are there. So we have a Hermes, and I mean, we actually have a Hermes there. So let's I'm hitting my keyboard's at an awkward angle. Let's do a Hermes 3 on there, and then I'll reboot Eliza right here. So kill it. Let's run it again, and then we'll try the Eliza, and we should see it. We should be able to see it actually load. So let's do this. I'll kind of break this tab out so that we can run Eliza over here. So all right, it's booted. Let's do what model are you? So it should actually use the Hermes now. And what did I set my ENV to, just to show you guys really quickly? So I'm running, there is a V1 interface running on that machine. So I can basically connect directly to it. So let me just check that we're on the right machine one more time. So the machine that we're on is overly widely cosmic. So let me just make sure that it's overly widely cosmic. It is. So let's just give it a shot. So this should work. Where was I? Over here. What model are you? And then we should be able to see the GPU actually get loaded up on overly widely cosmic right here. And so it should. Yeah, so let's see. Yeah, there we go. So it's loading up the GPU. We can actually see the GPU usage because now instead of using the API, we're actually talking to this exact GPU. So we can see the response come in, but it's actually running on this GPU. So we saw the GPU usage go up, saw the VRAM go up. The other thing, so yeah, I mean, like this is also pretty typical. So like if you have the space, I mean, look at this. So this is a 40 gig model, but it's using, actually the reason it's using 80 gigs is because now we have two 40 gig models in memory. But once we download the other one, it's actually going to be bigger. So you can tweak some stuff with a Llama, but it actually does a pretty, I mean, I've done a lot of tests with a Llama. It does a pretty good thing out of the box, or a pretty good job out of the box. Last thing that I want to show you guys, because if you're like serious, because we always get the question, like, Dimitri, my base URL changes every time. I don't want to use it. So we actually have a load balancer as well. It is app.comput3.ai slash. And so what you can do is you can say tags all. So that's going to try to load balance across all the machines that we're running. So the issue right now is I'm running this fast, which I'll just get rid of. And by the way, when you click stop, so like I have 78 minutes right now. If I click stop on this coder, I'm going to get the time back. So it went up to 130 minutes. But it's going to load balance across all the instances. So we run a load balancer like this, like an application load balancer. So it's going to load balance across all the instances. If I'm running, actually, let's for funsies, let's do the following. Let's launch another one just so that we can see it, because that will actually be a pretty baller demo to show at the very end. So, and what our application load balancer actually does is it uses your API key, it looks up what GPUs are you running, and then it load balances between them. So you can actually, like, let's say you're some gigantic, let's say you're elizaOS cloud, you could in theory, even though I would probably construct it slightly differently, you could in theory just use something like this and let us load balance all the queries for you. So if I go and I say, what's up, and we send the query, we can actually see which GPUs are going to hit. It's going to hit this one, so it hit this one now, and then we're going to say all good. Tell me more. So let's see. It should actually get load balanced to this guy next. Let's see, it might be loading the model. Let's see. No, I think we got this one again.
Yeah. Okay. Right. Okay.
No, but eventually, so yeah, keep. Let's see if we can actually get it. If it's actually responding, we should. If I do maybe a second, can I do a second chat here? Is it going to let me do
yeah,
chat?
if you go new chat, yeah. I think so.
Oh, it's not. Anyway, it should. I know you guys are going to have to take my. Actually, wait. I have another idea. Let's try this. Let's just do another tab. See if that'll work. Is it not going to let me do a tab? No, it is. Let's do another one. Oh, I know what it is. I did something dumb. I didn't reboot. I got that was the thing. We didn't apply the env was the issue. So now it's gonna work. Let's just boot it one more time. It's gonna absolutely do it. We're gonna build the project. I forgot. I changed the env, but I didn't restart the Docker. No, and now I closed it. Oh my god, this is the demo. The demo of. All right, we at least got it. All right, we're gonna be back in a second here. This is the. I had everything. I tested it like 2 or 3 times, and I was not misclicking like I am right now. Let's do it. Docker run. Let's do it one more time. Oh, it's still running. Oh, perfect. So then it doesn't matter because it's still running. Let's do. So here, let's reboot this one. Let's do. Hey, what's up? And let's see it. Which one's gonna get hit?
Look nice. I've got some bias, but doesn't it look good? Just the way it's been, the way it's developed over the last couple of weeks.
All right, let's do this, and then let's go. Come on, hit both of them. Oh, it's constantly getting routed over here, but it should hit the second one at some point. I don't know why it's not. Anyway, you guys will have to take my word for it that this should. Oh yeah, but I didn't kill. I gotta kill the container, right? I don't think Let's try one more time. We'll give it one more shot. Let's do a Docker PS. Let's do a Docker stop.
I'll let you do your thing.
Yeah, I don't think I still don't think I rebooted it. So let's try one more time. All right, let's try it one more time. Because it should be. This thing works really easily, or like pretty reliably. Let's do it one more time. Regenerate. Let's do a regenerate over here. I don't know if it's. I don't know. Maybe could there be like caching the could it be caching the things on or like sending multiple queries at once or something like that? I don't know. Trying to see. Anyway, this demo works. Take my word for it. It should load balance across them. So it's gonna see we have 2 Olama Web UI larges, and then it's actually gonna try to access their V1s. So this should work. The other trick you can do is like I don't know if Eliza will. The trick that I do with the LLMs is like write a 5,000 word essay on Eliza, just to have it do something like obnoxiously long. Let's do that over here as well. Just see.
Yeah, it's pulling across.
I have a feeling it might be conscious and like batching or caching or something like that.
Yeah, it looks like
I
it is.
don't know where.
It didn't ask it. The LLM is big.
Yeah, I mean, anyway, take my word for it. It's gonna. It should work overall. I mean, you can actually use our load balancer. That's one of the things that people also do. I do have a feeling it's either keeping like the TCP connection open or something that's causing it. The last thing that I want to show you guys is over here. Let's do examples. Compute AI. So we have all these. This is literally hosted from GitHub. So you guys can play around with these. I mean, we have like Comfy UI and stuff like that as well. So we just built like a web app. So this one, it's actually smart. So the way that we do it is we actually store the API key as a cookie, and then basically Cloudflare unrolls it for us. So it's like transparently working. You log in on launch, it sets a cookie, then you're authenticated. So that's how, like, if you guys are asking how the hell is this demo working, this is going to work. So if I do like hi right here, then I also get a response. It hit one of these GPUs. So here we can definitely do here it's definitely going to work. Let's see which one is it hitting right now. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. The GPU usage seems, maybe it's not hooking it or something like that. I mean, maybe that was the issue, was the page was somehow not refreshing. But yeah, anyway, I mean, it's gonna work. I know what I did. Now I did the stupid thing again. I'm on, but yeah, you just get the idea. I mean, this was on the I should have done this one, because here we would actually be. Here we're on the GPU, so I should have done it here, because I was just setting, I was sending it to our API again in the previous example. And so here you can actually see it's accessing this GPU finally. So we finally last demo, we got the second GPU to do something. But I do think, I mean, yeah, basically I think it is sending the query directly, but now we have two GPUs going right there. So feel free to play around with it. We have all these examples on GitHub as well, like launching instances, all of this stuff. I mean, you guys can use, people ask me how to do this. Honestly, I would we try to make the web apps all use our REST API. So if you just click around and then see what the REST calls are, I mean, I think that's the easiest way to like re-implement or like implement that in your application. I would just click around and then get it up and running. So yeah.
Nice. So I mean, just to wrap this up, Dimitri, like just to summarize. So you're kind of building in the DAI, decentralized AI space, right? You decentralized compute, or having compute that maybe isn't gate kept, or permissionless access as well, is going to be increasingly important. And I mean, from the interactions you've had so far, I've got a few ideas of what types of agents might find this particularly interesting. Financial DeFi, these names are getting ridiculous. Agents operating on chain for financial execution. If the compute just disappears and you're waiting for your trade to execute by your agent, and you miss that position, that's going to be pretty critical in terms of its operations, right? So I can see how this is going to get increasingly important should we move to that autonomous execution realm. What are you seeing? Like, what are you seeing as emerging sectors? What types of agents do you think need access to this? I mean, you must have thought about that a little bit more than I have.
Yeah, well, I mean, just in terms of our project, I think it's definitely gonna go. So the two so right now, basically, we're trying to focus, or like the thing that we want to market with, so to say, is the inferencing layer, being able to launch GPUs, being able to run your own API, all that kind of stuff. The thing that we're gonna be like the areas that we're branching off into. One of them is pretty interesting, sort of. I mean, like interesting in the sense that I don't think people think of it as an agent, but you could totally run it in essentially in an agentic way. And one of them is if you look, so for example, on BitTensor is pretty much all focused on AI stuff. I mean, their networks and all the subnets. Also Flock. Also Gen Layers, like another company project that's going in this direction. Essentially, they're doing model training for very specific tasks. But the problem is somebody has to validate the model. So somebody has to run a GPU, run some test data through it and see how it works. And so that is actually, I mean, so basically right now, I mean, I can say for a fact, because we talked to a bunch of people that are on these networks. I mean, there are GPUs running 24/7 in like, 3090s, 4090s in people's machines where they're just running a validator on this thing. But in reality, the thing, it's being used like 15 minutes a day. So it's like, what makes more sense? Do you want to have a machine that's like, you keep this machine online, or do you want, because I mean, I don't want to like overpromise, but we did start looking at, for example, the flock code. It's pretty easy to see how it checks if there's like a job in the queue. So like, why couldn't you just take the piece of code that says like, is there a job for me to do? And then hook it into our code that says boot a GPU, then have that instance do the validation of the model and give you the inputs and outputs and show you what the result was. And then you shut it down. So that is like a not to be underestimated thing that is happening in all the AI crypto space. Like validation of the model, especially for distributed training, is a gigantic problem. So there's different approaches. Everyone does it slightly differently. But if you consider how many networks are saying that they're going to focus on model training, there's a component that somebody has to check that the model actually works that got produced at the end. And that is, even if it hasn't been announced yet, it's there. So that's like a big thing that people shouldn't underestimate that's happening with all this model training stuff. Nice. So then the second part of that is the actual model training. I mean, so obviously we have the GPUs since last weekend, this past weekend, we finally have the GPUs that XAI and all these other companies are using for training. So we're in a unique position because if you go on Vast AI, if you go on any of these ones, I've yet to see a B200. I mean, I will believe that. I mean, like I'll stand corrected if I'm wrong, but I have not seen examples of them. I think that's how new they are, that essentially we got them first. So for running model training, I mean, so for example, if you wanted to, let's say you wanted to train or fine tune something like a Hermes or a Llama, so something that you could actually run locally, and you ran it on one of these machines, it's just going to go so much faster from, like you could actually load up an entire machine with 8 GPUs to fine tune a smaller model. You wouldn't need what XAI is doing, where they have 200,000 machines, which means they have like 1.6 million GPUs on the training. You could actually run it on one machine within a reasonable amount of time and expect to get results and stuff like that. So those are two interesting things, and I think there's going to be some sort of intersection, which is like essentially AI trying to move to AGI, going forward. I mean, I could totally see a future where an agent realizes it has this training data set that completely represents what it's trying to do. It is able to manage that training data set, and then it knows that if it runs and trains a new model with that training data set, it's going to improve. That's how you could actually get to the point where an AI is iteratively improving like its own cognition and iteratively improving the model. So all that stuff is kind of super interesting. The last thing that I'll say is kind of the from how many GPUs do you need point of view. I mean, you need like hundreds of GPUs for the training, and then to run the model, I mean, you're talking about like let's say single to tens of GPUs, so it's like a factor of 100 or something like that. I mean, like let's say factor of like between 20 to 50 to 100 times difference. So the scale's slightly different. So for most people, if we're talking about running agents and stuff like that, you're not going to need the kind of scale that training a frontier model is going to need or anything like that.
Right. Got it. Well, I'm excited to see how this all plays out, not just for compute, but for just the general agent ecosystem and how these seeds continue to grow and develop. Just for people listening, if they're particularly on the recording as well, like I'll drop a link to your community on the YouTube description. I dropped a link to you on how to get started with elizaOS on Compute from your documentation. Is there anything else that they should be doing to kind of kick off?
Yeah, I mean, we did have, we were using a link tree, but we just revamped the website this week. And so if you go to just Compute with a 3 instead of an E, .ai. At the very bottom, you'll have all our socials, including a link to join our Discord, Twitter, Telegram, etc. So I invite you to join all those. I mean, there's like raids and stuff like that going on. I mean, people are using we have a Telegram bot for generating memes. So every once in a while, I mean, it's pretty funny. I mean, people make speaking avatars. I mean, is one of the things that we also built. I mean, so like, I would say probably at least 50% of the usage, even though we mostly talk about LLMs today, more than 50% of the usage of our GPUs is actually to do image generation and video generation and that kind of stuff. So like the perfect example being Museum of Crypto is doing a lot of stuff on our GPUs. So they were the ones working to render the 3,000 GPUs. I don't remember, or the 3,000 images overnight. So and I mean, as the discussion went, he made the point that like this made so much more sense than leaving his machine running at 100% GPU usage and with all the fans on and heating up his room, etc., and that he could just go and do this all from his laptop without bothering his entire family. So that's like another consideration.
We had there's a plugin that got merged, must be started last week, called Bonsai, which it's a Filecaster agent that generates video upon request from a Filecaster feed. It had both VO3. I can't remember the name of the video model, but it was like 10x cheaper than VO3. And that's super interesting. I think that's like there's going to definitely be more of those types of plugins and agent use cases. So maybe I should connect you to them. Like, there's maybe something there that you guys could speak about or work together on. But yeah, I think
for sure. I mean, we do streams as well. So I mean, we did streams on. I mean, so the kind of the for people who aren't familiar. I mean, like the kind of from for the dev community that's not familiar, like the scary part is once you start getting into the video generation, there's like the most monstrous Python project which I've ever seen in my life. Comfy UI is like it's basically like the giant shoulders everyone is standing on, even like replicate and all of them. Fally eye. I mean, half the time in the logs you can see like Comfy UI crashed and all this kind of stuff. I mean, like everything's built on Comfy UI, and it's just this monstrosity that essentially only runs on NVIDIA GPUs, and all this stuff is just completely crazy. So I mean, it actually has a UI. So if you're trying to develop, like I'm trying to figure out, like do something new, it makes sense to use the UI similar to the Open Web UI that we use. So the cool thing is, I mean, the cool thing is you can boot it up just the same, just like with everything else on our website. I mean, you can just boot in and then you're immediately logged in, and Comfy UI is just running on one of these GPUs somewhere halfway across the world. And so, I mean, that's super useful, because otherwise you're sitting, I mean, literally the experience for most people with Comfy UI is you install it on, like, I mean, I would recommend installing it on Windows. Like, first of all, Mac, forget about it. You want a NVIDIA GPU. So like step one, you're probably on a desktop. Step two, you got to have an NVIDIA GPU to have like a good experience in it. Like step three, you're in C program files, copying models into it for it to do anything useful. I mean, it's just such a non-user friendly mess. But turns out if somebody like builds the Docker container for you and actually tests this workflow, then they can get it to the point where you put an API in front of it, and then it's just magic. And so, I mean, for example, the Telegram bot that I mentioned, that's what it's using. Same kind of stuff with our backend. So yeah, I saw you did the Git book just now. I would do, I mean, obviously launch, but also just our main page, just Comput3 as well. But yeah.
Akash Network. Why does that name sound so familiar?
Yeah, so Akash also has a couple of these. I mean, they have some of these workflows. So the issue that I mean, again, I'm not testing every single one of them, but so our Comfy UI that we run is 500 gigs. So like, just to give you an idea, that's how many models we have inside of it. So we have the most popular video model, which is 1. So right now we have 2.1, 2.2 got released this week, so we'll be adding that as well. But literally with us, I mean, I might as well. I got to show it since we're on that topic. I mean, with us, if you want to get into Comfy UI, you go pick a MediaFast instance, click launch, and literally within 30 seconds, as soon as this stops rotating, I'm in freaking Comfy UI. It's fully booted. All the models are there. I don't have to download anything. I can literally boot 30 seconds later, I can start using the Comfy. So all these AI tools basically have some form of an API. I can start using the API. I can start talking to it and basically have full access to everything going on there. So this is gonna, as soon as this boots, we'll see it here. So there we go, Comfy UI.
I'm sorry if this is really small. I need to reconfigure OBS to make this large again. We're testing that out, but yeah. Just
oh yeah, I mean, but anyway, here's Comfy UI, so you can literally load. You can literally go open a workflow, load it into here. I mean, this is Comfy UI, and it's running on this machine. So, and the only one, like this is running on. Let me just say it again, an H200 right now. So you can go load it up, do really fast renders, et cetera, et cetera. So like the typical thing would be you log in a Comfy UI, you get something working in the GUI, you can export it such that you can then easily write like a Python script or something like that to work with it. Then you leave it up and running like overnight or something like that. And then you wake up the next morning and you have 6,000 images generated, and it's costs you 8 hours of GPU time. So that makes complete sense financially to do it with us and not with essentially, the worst would be something where you pay per image generation. Like it's going to completely price you out of generating thousands of images in any reasonable amount of time.
Should we call that a wrap? I think that was a brilliant deep
I think
dive.
it's pretty good. I mean, I would say that's a good place to end it. So you guys should definitely, if you guys are interested in this stuff, just make sure, I would say our Discord's the place to be in terms of having cool discussions. We just have people building crazy apps. We have a couple channels where people are sort of building in the open and stuff like that. So you can just track how they're doing the development. So I invite all you to hop on and join and be active there.
Yeah, and Dimitri, you're welcome back anytime. We could maybe do this a little bit earlier in the day as well if you're in Dubai. I wasn't sure if you're in the US.
No. Time wise, it's fine. This works. I also appreciate that people from the US can actually hop on and watch.
Yeah. I picked the time because it maybe catches all time zones, but we do have a large Asian developer community as well. So if you wanted to come back and run through this in the morning, we can whack a session and kind of hop on. But yeah, awesome to dive in with you. Great to learn more around Comput.
Yeah, awesome.
And thank you so much. Let's call that a wrap.
Yeah, all right. That was fun.
Thanks, Dimitri. Take care.
Thanks.
Stop stream.